What inspired me the most is the use of media and technology in today's digital world and in art.
I think it started with a course led by Adriana Knauf, and this opened up my path into this whole research.
During my practice, I was seeking answers to personal problematics, and in the end I was able to merge the people I was meeting in my project with a personal situation that I had with my grandmother, and then the designer in me really healed the person in me.
Where I come from, we talk about this kind of technologies, but we don't implement them. And I think coming here, getting to know this kind of technologies, using them in hand was the biggest inspiration for me.
I think the most important tool that the students need is a curiosity to explore areas that they haven't necessarily explored before, and an openness to new ways of thinking and doing and making.
The more enduring tactic or more enduring things that we can bring to the student is who they are, who they can bring to the world, how they can engage with the world.
I think it's important that the students understand that it's important to position their work and that they understand notions and terms as sort of a point of inquiries and complexities rather than fixed or set in stone standards. And I think it is paramountly important for them to have each other, have a community.
Talking about biopolitics and how politics influence how we care for each other in society pushed me to get a more embodied research. I decided to actually meet people, discuss with them, go to places, and that influenced the results I have today.
I navigated around the concept of sound as a universal agency to speculate a melting pot for human, technology, nature, cohabitation. I think this was a constant thread in my practice, which I realized during my master's while I was talking to the teachers or talking to my peers. And through that, it has really, shaped the way I look at this kind of things in a more introspective and intrinsic way rather than an objective way.
So by going into the theory, I could also go into my practice and dive into my practice more and use the methodology of going around the subject to use this within my video work and within a digital medium as well.
Research is an ongoing question, an ongoing way of engaging with the world. So in that sense, there's probably never will be a finish line.
There needs to be sort of this careful consideration of all of the aspects that might go into the research. So understanding the techniques that have been used, sort of exploring different avenues or approaches.
When one has invested enough in it, when one has worked enough with it, I guess one feels when it's ready. But it is important to remember that we don't need to wait for it to be. It is never going to become ready if we don't put it in conversation with the public.
So in that sense, it's not as if something is necessarily ready per se. It's more that, okay, it's ready for this particular moment of exhibition or discussion or a workshop or something like this. And then in the future, maybe that changes through conversations and interactions with the public and so forth.
I think especially with the evaluation of research, it's essential that we go beyond the mores of academia.
It's important to have that, to have tutors that also are from different backgrounds, because I think the innovation will come from more cross-disciplinary and cross-cultural implementation of what we know.
So the moment we start to feel friction in ourselves towards a new body of knowledge, I think that is the moment that we go, hey, hold on, something new is happening here.
First of all, it's very important to be able to engage with existing cultural debate. Second of all, to be well informed about the artwork or cultural product that has been produced on the same topic. And thirdly, to ask the right question.
So I think the complexities that research in general encounters today requires these compositions between artists, science, humanities like biology, so different types of science.
Research is different things to different people. You don't have to be an artist or a designer, but I think obviously as artists and designers that we need to be aware of who came before us, where we're going, and how we fit into that context.
We are living in a time in which the discourse of art, culture and society has been increasingly integrated. To have a research component in their practice will help them to understand their position of their work in bigger social, cultural and historical context.
What's really important is the acceptance of these new digital tools, still staying critical. You know, we have all this AI going on, and these are just tool sets that designers can exploit, but it's still them who is the center of the research.
Art and design research is a form of ethics that focuses on how to come together while remaining different.
When I entered this master, I really saw myself as a service-giving person. I was trying to find solutions to a problem and being of service to others, but I had a quite external position in it. And it's not called situated design for nothing. During those 2 years, I really learned that I'm also situated in that context and I'm part of it. And I now have a way more relational approach of staying with the future client or with the problem instead of just bringing a service and a solution and stepping away from it.
The most important thing was the critical framework and the theoretical framework that we needed to structure in our work. I think in the professional vision, what it gave me was a profound knowledge of understanding what is actually there in the contemporary arts, what is happening in today's contemporary society, and a depth of knowledge about how we can harness them to produce new knowledge.
As a designer, we definitely want to bring in the emotional, the intuitive, the artistic perspective to the world. But in such a complicated reality that we're in now, only with intuition is not enough. Only with artistic appropriation is not enough. But rather, combining with the academia spirits of investigative manner is very important to bring our design to the world in a meaningful way.
So one of the things that I think is really great about our program is that the students are able to jump into practices of research as it actually exists within, say, other types of scientific environments, but to approach it from an artistic perspective. And I think that possibility of bringing these two combinations together, an artistic perspective and the scientific research one, is a really unique feature of our Ecology Futures program.
Well, in my mind, the professional world of research is partly the academic world, or that's what it seems to be now, or it is a bit, it's a bit in the making. Where does the world of artistic research belong within the academia or within the professional field? So I guess it's something that we built together. Maybe that's a positive way to put it, or an optimistic way to put it, that its place, it's a bit blurry or not fixed, but maybe that's a good thing because it's up to us to place it.
The best thing you can do is find out first what you know and what you need to unlearn.
That's a sort of building up of relearning and questioning what you've learned as you go forward in your research.
Whether you're from a small village or whether you're from a big country abroad, stay true to yourselves, stay true to culture.
For young researchers nowadays, it's very important to make the bridge between the bigger cultural context with their own practice.
Which means understanding what is your community of practice that you're part of or you want to be part of.
That within the struggles that you may face in treating forward and in covering new terrain in your research and in your practice, that you should always feel at liberty.
And how I can find out something that I do not know yet and whereby I need to change myself in order to understand it, that is the best thing that you can do as a new researcher.